Hello, welcome again. Continuing with GATE 2015 Production and Industrial Engineering paper. Starting with question number 31. A metallic bar of uniform cross section with specific weight of 100 kilonewton per meter cube is hung vertically down. The length and Young's modulus of the bar are 100 meter and 200 GPa. The elongation of the bar in mm due to its own weight is. So consider a bar, okay, of length L which is hung vertically, and at a distance x, consider a strip of thickness dx, okay, and as specific weight of this bar is there, bar metal is there, 100 kilonewton meter per meter cube, and length is just 100 mm. Oh, sorry, 100 meter. Length is 100 meter, and E is your 200 GPa. Okay, so the weight acting on this tip is just 100 A x into 10 power 3 for kilo Newton to Newton. Okay, so and A is the cross section area. Okay, so this is A is the volume below this tip. Okay, if we divide it by A, then we'll get stress. If we divide it by, sorry, if we multiply it by E, then we'll get strain. So the strain in the strip is just 100x divided by E divided by 3. Okay, so this will be, and putting the value of E, so this will be 100x into 10 power 3 divided by 200 and so on. Okay, so and this is the strain in the strip as a length of strip is dx. So multiplying by dx. Okay, so this is your change in length of the strip. Okay, and change in length of this whole bar will we can get by integrating from 0 to n. Okay, now if we integrated them, if we integrated, then it will be 100 into 10 to the power 3 divided by 200 to the power 9. Okay, and integration will give here L square by 2, the x square by 2, putting limits we can have, and putting we can add this, okay, L square by 2. Okay, and L is just 100 meters. So putting the value of L, we can get 1 by 400 meters as extension at 2.5 mm. Next, a beam is loaded as shown in figure. Okay, so this is P, port, this is port, and this is Q, and over and 10 kilonewton, 1 meter, this distance, this point R, 6 kilonewton at 30 degree is acting, this point S. So 2 meter, 2 meter, and 2 meter are the distance between P, Q, R, and S. Okay. So now you have to find out bending moment in Newton meter at point R is. Okay. So this is the beam. Okay. If we apply 10 kilonewton, this 10 kilonewton load upward and downward here, okay, we can get from this 10 kilonewton this 2 kilonewton moment, and from this 10 kilonewton a vertical downward force. So this can be replaced as the distance is 1 meter. Okay, so this moment will be 10 kilometer meter flat point Q. There will be 10 kilometer meter bending moment will be acting, and 10 kilometer vertically downward load is acting. Okay, as this is the rigid spot. Okay, so it will provide both horizontal and vertical direction. So RPH and RPV are horizontal and vertical direction, and here there is roller force. So RSV, there will be only vertical direction, and RSV is the vertical direction. Okay. Now this 6 kilonewton can be resolved into components. Vertical component is 6 times 30, and horizontal is 6 whole 30. Okay. And okay, now we can balance horizontal forces. So RPH is equal to R cos 30. RPH is equal to R cos 30. Okay. So R cos 30 is 5.91961 kilonewton. Okay. So this is RPH. Okay. Now from the vertical balance, RPV plus R plus V should be equal to 10 plus 6 times 30. That is 30. 30. Okay. Now taking moment about this S, we can get R, the total length is 6, so RPV into 6, and this is your 4. Okay, 10 minus 4, and this is equal 10 plus 10. Okay, minus 6 sine 30 into 2, 6 sine 30 into 2. Okay. So this is your, so from this we can get RPD, and from this equation we can get RPS also. Okay, so RPS is your 7 kilonewton. Okay, now movement about this point R, this point R, this point R. Okay, about this point R can be find by RS multiplying RSV with 2. Okay, so answer is your 7 into 2, that is 14 kilonewton. Okay, next, in an offset slider crank mechanism shown in the figure, the crank is rotated at constant speed of 150 rpm. Okay, the value of angle theta shown in the figure is 20 degrees. What is the ratio of forward to return stroke? Can this mechanism be used in an application involving quick return? So options are 3.33 no, B 0.73 yes, C 1.25 yes, B 0.73 no. So this is a offset slider containment mechanism. Okay. So here we can see this angle is theta. Okay, and the at this position it is going up for in forward direction. Okay, and this crank is along this line, and when the crank will rotate, it will go rotate counterclockwise. So it will go forward. So this is the we can say uh, bottom, or yeah, or bottom dead center. Okay, the crank is at bottom dead center or at extreme left position. Okay, or slider is at extreme left position, and after that the slider will move to extreme right position. Okay, so the forward stroke begins from here and goes up to this point. So this is the extreme right position. So this is the forward stroke. Okay, okay, and this is the return stroke. Okay, so angle theta one will be subtended during return stroke. Okay, and this 360 minus theta one will be subtended during forward stroke. Okay, so and this angle is theta is here 20 degrees. So theta one will be here 180 minus 20, that is 160. Okay, and angle during uh, forward stroke will be this angle. Okay, so this angle will be 180 plus 20, or we can say 200, or 60 minus 160. So the quick return ratio will be the sorry, angle, this angle, that is 200, and this angle by this angle. So this is 200 by 160. So this will be 5 by 4. So answer is your 1.25. So option C is correct. So it can be used as quick return mechanism, and quick return ratio is here 1.25. Next, in a 1 meter thick wall, temperature distribution at a given instant Tx is equal to T naught plus C1x plus C2x square, where T is in degree Celsius and x is in meter. The constant are C naught is equal to 800 degrees Celsius, C1 is equal to minus 250 degrees Celsius per meter, and C2 is equal to minus 40 degrees Celsius per meter square. The the ball, thermal conductivity of the ball is 50 watt per meter per Kelvin. The ball area is 5 meter square. If there is a heat source generating uniform volumetric heating at the rate of 500 watt per meter square inside the wall, the rate of change of energy storage in the wall in kilowatt is. So this is our wall. Okay, and the equation of the temperature distribution is given like this. So and there is uniform heat generation within this wall also. Okay, and wall is of 1 meter length. Okay, so this is x 0, this is x 9. Okay. Now finding out dt by dx, so it will be c1 plus 2c2x. Okay, so dt by dx, putting the value of c1 and c2. Okay, we have this. Okay, so at x is equal to 0, we have dt by dx at 0 is 0 minus 250, and at x is equal to 1, we have the value of dt by dx as, sorry, we'll find out later. Okay, so this is the dt by dx at x equals 0. Okay, so from this we can find out q naught. So q naught is nothing but minus ka dt by dx as equals 0, and k is your 50 and a is your 5. So dt by dx is your minus 250. So the heat inflow will be positive. So it will be positive x direction. So it will be in this direction. Okay, so it will be heat inflow. Okay, now if we put dt by dx is equal to if we find dt by dx at x is equal to 1, okay, then we will put x is equal to 1 here, so it will be minus 330. Okay, now the now again we can find out the heat q1. Okay, so q1 will be also will be positive because this is negative. Okay, so it means the q1 is your heat outflow. Okay, okay, so this is heat inflow, this is heat outflow, and there is some heat is being generated here also. Okay, so heat generated is your Q into volume. So heat generated volume is this, and volume is 5 into 1. Okay, so Qg is your 2500. Okay, so the rate of change of energy storage is your Qg plus Q naught minus Q1. Qg is Qg is your 2500. Okay, and Q naught is Q naught is heat inflow. Okay, and that is heat generated. So the Qg and Q naught will be plus. Okay, and Q1 will be minus because it is heat outflow. Okay, so it will be the rate of change of energy storage will be Qg plus Q naught minus Q1. Okay, so answer is your minus 7.5 kJ. Okay, that is the rate of flow change of energy. Putting the values. Okay, next. In a vertical piston cylinder arrangement, the force applied to the piston pushes water through a nozzle as shown in the figure. The water flows out from the nozzle and reaches the top of its trajectory. The kinetic and pressure energies at points 1, 2, and 3 respectively are. So this is the piston, and here the water is there. Okay, and here jet comes out. Okay. So at this one, the kinetic energy should be 0 and the pressure energy should be highest. Okay, and at this the kinetic energy should be maximum and pressure energy. Okay, pressure energy should be 0. Okay, kinetic and pressure energy. So at this point the kinetic energy is small. Okay, small kinetic energy and large. Okay, and here the pressure energy is. So the kinetic energy is your large and pressure is atmospheric. So it is large, 0. And here both the kinetic energy and pressure energy will be 0. Answer is just okay. Because here whole of the pressure energy has been converted into potential energy. Okay. And here there only the small kinetic energy has the large pressure energy. Here large kinetic energy, whole of the energy that is pressure energy and kinetic, small kinetic energy of this has been converted into kinetic energy. Yes. Okay. Here the velocity comes to 0. So answer is your option A. Next, consider a glass fiber reinforced polymer material. The stress strain curve of the fiber matrix and composite are plotted in the figure. Which one of the following statement is true? So this is the graph given between engineering stress and engineering strain, P, Q, and R. Okay, so we have to choose the right statement. Option A, the P represents the composite and Q the matrix and curve R of the car are the fiber. Okay. The curve Q represents composite and curve R the matrix and the curve P the fiber. C. The curve R represents the composite, curve P the matrix, and curve Q the fiber. D. The curve P represents the composite, and the curve R the matrix, and the curve Q the fiber. Okay. So here you can see that the stress for P is more as compared to stress for R, and stress for Q is here in between for the same in this case. Okay. So as the in a composite, the fibers are of very small area, okay, and so the stress on the fiber will be more, okay. So the P represents the stress, so the P represents the stress on the fiber, okay, okay. The load applied to the matrix is shaped by the matrix and fiber. Okay, the area of the matrix is large, so the smaller stress will be burden. Okay, and the matrix, so P will represent fiber, and the stress as a matrix area is very large. Okay, so the smaller stress will be burden this. So the smaller stress is given by this R. Okay, so R will represent matrix, and Q will be in between. So answer will be. So let us see now. Load applied by load applied on composite is shaped by matrix and fiber. As the area of matrix is large, so smaller stress will be built in the matrix, and matrix is not brittle like glass fiber. So there will be some plasticity in the matrix as shown by the R. Okay, so curve is shown by R. Okay, so this is for matrix. Okay, now the stress built in the glass fiber is will be more because of its small area. Okay, as the area is small for the fiber and a smaller proportion, and there will be no plasticity as shown by P. Okay, so this is little. This is some there is some plastic thing here. Okay, there is no plastic, so this is the fiber. And finally the stress in the composite will be the combined effect of P and R, which is shown by P. Next. A mold for injection molding is designed for polymer P, having shrinkage of 0.010 mm per mm. A critical dimension needed in the mold part is 35 mm. If the small mold is now used to make a similar part but made of a different polymer Q with the shrinkage of 0.025 mm per mm, then the critical dimension in the molded part made of polymer Q in mm is. So the critical dimension in the polymer is just 35 mm. The critical dimension of the polymer is 35 mm. Okay, and the shrinkage allowance is given on critical dimension. So the shrinkage allowance is here 0.010 mm. Okay, so the size of the mold will be your dimension of the critical dimension of the molded part plus shrinkage allowance. So it will be size of the mold will be 35.5. Okay. Now the mold is just same for second part also. Okay. So let x be the critical dimension of the second part, and the shrinkage given as for the second part is that is Q. Okay. And shrinkage is given for Q is just 0.025 mm per mm. Okay. So the total as a total dimension as a dimension of the mold is same 35.5. Okay, so then x is the critical dimension, and this allowance is given on critical dimension. Okay, so x will be your 34.48 mm. Okay, now this will be the size of mold, and size of mold is just this, x is just 34.48 mm. Okay, so let us repeat. So we have two parts, P and Q. The critical dimension of the part P is 35 mm and shrinkage is your this. Okay. Now the dimension of the mold will be this. Okay, uh, 35 plus that would shrinkage amount. Okay. Now the same mold is being used for the part Q. Okay. So part Q is so the dimension of the mold is your 35.5. Let X be the critical dimension and shrinkage along on the part Q is your this. So this critical dimension plus shrinkage along should be equal to size of the mold. So X comes out as 34.48. Okay. So answer is 34.48. Next, open die forging of a cylinder made of rigidly perfectly plastic material with yield strength of 200 MPa having a height of 25 mm and diameter of 25 mm is being carried out. The cylinder is subjected to Q compressive strain of 3.6 during the process. Assuming frictionless and homogeneous deformation, the energy expended in kilojoule is okay. Uh, so here the material is perfectly plastic material. Okay. So the for the plastic perfectly plastic material stress strain curve is this. Okay. This is stress strain curve. So this is your yield stress and the final strain is your epsilon. So that is epsilon. Okay. So the area of the stress strain curve gives strain energy per unit volume and sigma y here is your 300 MPa and Q strain here is this quantity 3.6. So area we can calculate by these two. Okay, so this is your 200 into 3.6 is your strain energy per unit volume. Okay, as a stress area of the stress strain curve is the strain energy per unit volume. Okay, here the graph is straight. Okay, so it will be given by epsilon by or area of rectangle epsilon y into or sigma y into epsilon or area of this rectangle here this is epsilon this is sigma. Okay, now this is strain energy per unit volume. Now volume of the uh, volume of cylinder is can be calculated by this height and this diameter. So this will be pi by 4 b square h. Okay, so the energy expended is here. This into volume. This will be 8.831 kilojoules. Okay, next, in a drilling operation, a twist drill of 30 mm diameter with a point angle of 118 degree is used. A CNC command is used to execute the drilling operation is G90 G01 Z question mark F20. The datum is defined on the top surface of the work material and the approach distance is 3 mm. Then to achieve cylindrical hole depth of 40 mm. The Z coordinate to be provided in CNC command in mm. So this is your here uh, the point angle is your 118 degrees. Okay, and diameter of drill is 30 mm. Okay, and we have to find out the Z coordinate and reference is your top of the workpiece. Okay, and approach distance. This is approach. Okay, so this is at this point. So this is approach. Approach is your 3 mm. And to make hole, the drill has to travel from this to this. Okay, this distance. Because to, to complete the hole, this portion, okay, inclined portion should come out. Okay, so the distance travel will be this plus this length of workpiece plus this plus this. Okay, so this A is called back throw distance, and A is and this is diameter, and this is angle alpha. This is half of angle of drill. So this is 2 alpha. This is alpha. So alpha will be your 59 because 2 alpha is your 118. Okay, 2 alpha is your 118 degree. So this will be your 59. So this is your diameter by 2. So we can calculate the distance. Okay, so the distance is your d by 2 by 10 is alpha. So A is your 9.0129 mm. Okay, so this is 9. And this distance is your thickness of the this is or hole depth. Okay, the depth of the hole or thickness of the sheet. Okay, this is your 40 minutes. Okay, now we have to take reference from this, and we are going from this point to this point. So this will be your 40 plus 9, which is minus 49.019. Okay, so this will be your minus 49.0129. Okay, so the Z90, Z90 as in the command Z90 code is given. Okay, so that is for absolute. So absolute as at this point there is 00 axis. Okay, consider so this is uh, from this to this there will be and this point will be your uh, 40 plus this distance. Okay, so the command in the command absolute code is given, not the incremental code is given. If the incremental code is given, then you take this distance. Okay, L. But here the absolute code is given, so the answer will be your minus 40 plus this distance. Okay, to answer your minus 49. Next, in an orthogonal machining experiment carried out using a cutting tool with a 0 degree rack angle, the measured cutting force was 1700 Newton. If the friction angle at the rack face chips interface is 26 degree, then the thrust force value in Newton is. Okay. So here, mm, orthogonal cutting, zero rack angle means uh, zero rack angle means this F will be vertical and N will be horizontal. Okay, this is FC, this is FT. Okay, and this is resultant force, this is shear force, this is your normal force. Okay. And so zero rack angle is this diagram. Okay, and your friction angle is given as 26, so this angle is given 26. Okay, so what the thrust force in Newton. Okay, we have to calculate Ft. Okay, now what is given? Cutting force is given. Cutting force is given as 1700. So Fc is given as 1700. So from this, as this angle is 26, this is lambda, this is lambda. Okay, so from this we can calculate R. So R, or we can calculate Ft also from this angle A, B, and C. Okay, so Ft by Fc is your tangent. Tangent 56. Okay, this is your perpendicular, this is your base. Okay, so Ft will be your 829.145. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay. Next, in a slab milling operation, sorry, here the basic funda which we have to you have to remember that when the rack angle is zero, then F will become vertical, this becomes horizontal, Ft will become vertical, and this is Fc horizontal. So and this angle is given, this friction angle is given, so this friction angle is your 26. So by solving and Fc is given, so solving this equation we can get Ft. Okay. Next, in a slab milling operation, a cutter of 75 diameter with sufficient width is used to remove 5 thick material from a 200 long part in a single pass. The minimum length of the travel in for the cutter to engage and completely cut the part surface is. So this is slab milling operation. Okay. So that minimum length of travel we have to calculate. Okay. So the minimum length of travel, uh, the cutter will start from here. First of all, it will travel this distance. Okay, this is your d by 2. Okay, and this is your d by 2 minus t. Okay, so it should be. There, this distance is d by 2 minus t. D is the diameter of the cutter. Okay, and P is the mm, thickness of your depth of cut. Okay, okay. P is the width of cut. Okay, so it is removed. Okay, so D is the diameter of this milling cutter, and this is your D by 2. This is D by 2. Okay, and this is the thickness of the cut or width of the cut. Okay, and so this distance comes out as D by 2 minus T. Okay, so from this is d by 2 hypotenuse, this is perpendicular. So from this we can get O. Okay. So it will be d by 2 here minus d by 2 minus here. Okay. And solving this out, this is just P d minus T. Okay. Root, and this length is your 75. Uh, uh, sorry, this length is your 200 mm. So this is your 200 mm, and total distance will be 200 plus this cost. So answer will be 229, 219 mm. Okay. Next, in a metal casting process, molten copper alloy is poured into a sand mold. The level of molten metal in the pouring basin is at a height of 300 mm from the runner having a diameter of 10 mm. If the density and melting temperature of molten copper alloy are 9,000 kilograms per meter cube and 100 degrees Celsius respectively, then then the rate of flow of molten metal into the mold, neglecting friction and other losses in centimeter cube per second is okay. So here the height of the molten metal is just 300 mm. Okay. 300. Okay, and diameter is just diameter and having runner diameter is just 10 mm. Okay. So from this height we can calculate velocity at this point. Okay, velocity at this point is your the 2gh root. Okay, so h is your 0.3 meters. So from this we can calculate velocity, and area is given. So area of runner is there 5/4 times square. Okay, so the discharge is your A into B. So answer is your this is your B. This is your A. So answer is your 190.441 centimeter cube per second or meter per second is meter cube per second is okay. Next, two aluminum alloy plates, each 10 mm thick and 1 meter long, are welded without crowning by multi-pass tungsten inert gas butt welding. The joint configuration is V-type with 60-degree angle, and the root gap is maintained at 5 mm. If the electrode of 5 mm diameter with 500 mm is used, electrode of 5 mm used for welding, the number of electrodes are required. Number of electrodes required is option A 7, B 9, C 11, D 30. Okay. So this is the V joint given. Okay. This is the root. This is the uh, root gap. This root gap is your 5 mm and angle is your 50. So this is your root gap. Okay. And this angle is your 60 degree. Okay. Base of B. So this angle will be your 50 degree. Okay. So this is your 5 mm and thickness is your thickness is 10 mm. Okay, so this is your 10 mm. Okay, this is 5. Okay, now we can calculate area and then multiply with the dimension perpendicular to it, and then we can get volume of this. Okay. So area is given by the triangle OC, sorry, this triangle plus this triangle plus this square. Okay, so the area will be 10. So this is your 10. Okay, this vertical division 10. Okay, and this is your 10. Wait, this is your 10. As this angle is your 30 degree, so this will be your 10 tangent 30 degree. Okay, and when it divided by 2, so this will give area of this triangle. Similarly, the area of this triangle is also 10 into 10 tangent 30, 10 tangent 30 divided by 2. Okay, and area of the sphere is this 10 into 5. Okay, so this is the area of the region. So this comes out at 107.73 mm square. Okay, now the dimension perpendicular to the joint is 1 meter, as it is 1 meter long. Okay, so this is the volume of the volume. Sorry, this is the area of the region, and uh, dimension perpendicular to this is 1 meter, so it is 1000 mm. So the volume of the belt, we have to fill the belt in this joint. So the volume of the belt required is this area into 1000, that is 107,730 mm cube. Okay. So, but the one electrode provides how much of volume? Pi by 4 d square into n. Okay, one electrode provides this. Okay, so this is your 9812.5. Okay, so total volume of the belt required is this, and one electrode provides this. So the number of electrodes required are 10.97 over 11. Okay, so uh, we'll stop here and we'll come back in next